Greetings and welcome to the Miracle of Prosperity. I'm your host, Reverend Jim Webb, Senior Minister of the Tacoma Metaphysical Chapel in Silver Spring, Maryland, and author of the book, The Soul of Prosperity, as well as two spin-offs, Prosperity from A to Z and Create Your Self-Manifesting Vision Board. So on The Soul of Prosperity, we look at all aspects of prosperity. We look at, of course, financial prosperity, where our finances are no longer a source of worry, but are a source of joy and flow. We look at relationship prosperity, where we cultivate an inner harmony that shows up as harmony in our outer relationships. We look at professional prosperity, where we have a wonderful job with wonderful pay, where we provide a wonderful service in a wonderful way, and where we find professional fulfillment in alignment with our soul's purpose in a way that is easy and joyful. We look at logistical prosperity so that our life works wonderfully. And of course, at the root of it all, spiritual prosperity. So what we do every night is we look at a way that we can either eliminate barriers to prosperity or tools that we can use to draw more prosperity to us. And as we grow and as we evolve, the universe is always providing more information as we are ready to receive it. So recently, the universe provided a wonderful teacher with more information that just blew me away. And I wanted to share some of this with you. The idea, and I took her class, and when she worked with this, it was just incredible. The idea is called I Am We. And we're going to explore it further and how we can use I Am We in order to manifest more prosperity. It's based on the principle of A Course in Miracles. When I am healed, I am not healed alone. I am not alone in the effects of my healing. So when we heal, when we transform, when we grow, we are like a radiator. You know how a radiator just emits heat and heats up the whole room? Well, when we become enlightened, we enlighten the whole world. And our function, according to A Course in Miracles, is to bring that light onto the earth and anchor it onto the earth so that that light can be used in whatever way is necessary to heal the world. And I Am We is based on this concept. And we are going to explore how we can use that to enhance our prosperity. And when I say we, I am not just talking about me. I'm also talking about our special guest tonight, our beloved Reverend Rae Brooks, author of the book My Infinite Self, Memoirs of an Eternal Being, where she teaches how we are eternal and how we are tapped into an eternal consciousness. Now, this is a wonderful book that I've enjoyed, and I know some of our viewers have enjoyed as well. And her teachings didn't begin and end with the book. One of her teachings is the I Am We. So welcome, Reverend Rae Brooks.
Thank you, Reverend Jim, Reverend Dr. Jim. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're so glad to have you. And I must tell you to your face, not just behind your back while you're in the waiting room, how blown away I was when I took your class and you taught the I Am We. So I want you to tell our guests about I Am We.
Okay, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much. Yes. We have learned that oneness is the goal that we all have, that to be one with our Creator, with the source, one with each other. We are the world. And this is exactly the truth. The question is, what are the benefits of oneness? There are many benefits that come out of it, but one of the benefits that I'm sharing with you tonight is how to prosper by understanding and being able to connect with the capabilities of others. Now, just to give you a little bit of background, how this came about for me, one of the things that I do in the mornings is a prayer to the seven directions. It's an ancient Mayan prayer. And the prayer always says we, it never says I. And one day, just out of curiosity, I sat back and I said, Spirit, which is my nickname for God, I said, Spirit, why does this say we and not I? And Spirit just said, because you are we. And I said, okay, I am we. Okay. And I said, all right, tell me more.
Tell me more.
Right. And is there a benefit from this? And Spirit said yes. And I sat in and went into a deep meditation, a high vibrational meditation, and allowed the downpour of what this was about. And what came through to me was we have one of the benefits of being one with each other. We have the ability to tap into the capabilities of others. For example, you might know someone who is the best carpenter that you have ever met, and you don't even know how to what
Hammer
kind of
nail.
saw or hammer saw, whatever it is, you may not know. And the key thing is that you have the ability to get to a higher plane, a higher vibrational place of being, and to ask for the capabilities that this other person or this other energy, and it can be a different kind of energy. It can be an energy of thanksgiving, which is a form of prosperity. It can be an energy of a holiday, which is a holy day, a form of thanksgiving.
Yes.
And once you do this, you ask Spirit for this ability, and you sit back and relax and let it happen.
Interesting. So the concept is kind of like the 100th monkey, where there was this island, and there were and one of the monkeys came up with a new way to break the coconuts, which made it much easier to break the coconuts and get the juice. And so then by the time the 100th monkey on the island learned that technique, monkeys on the neighboring island who had not been in physical contact learned that technique as well, because it was in the ether. Is that kind of the concept you're talking about?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And the other thing about it is that once you do it, Spirit is going to give you the best way to do this capability. You may not do it exactly the same way that you thought about a person who could do this carpentry. You may not do it exactly the way that they did it, but what Spirit will do, which is the best for you, maybe send you to a class where they are teaching this particular course. And as you do that, then you will have those capabilities that you asked for.
Wow. So basically, once we do, any soul on the planet does their function, which is to be their highest self, live their highest potential, be at one with the attributes of God necessary for their earth walk, we can tap into that. Is that what you're saying?
Reverend Jim, it's really funny because it's a lot easier than that, because when I did it, this was before Donald Trump became president, even before he ran for office. What I asked for was the ability to do real estate like Donald Trump did. That's what I asked for.
They'll wind up in jail.
Right. Exactly. That's the whole point. That's what's going on right now. But what was amazing was the next day
Uh-huh.
Spirit came to me and
Uh-huh.
showed me this class by
Mm-hmm.
Robert Kiyosaki, Rich
Yes.
Dad,
Rich
Poor
Dad,
Dad.
Poor Dad.
Right,
Yes. Uh-huh.
exactly. So and I had already paid for the class, and it was
Mm.
with a guide and with the books and also a sponsor to work with
Mhm.
me,
Yeah.
and I had forgotten I did it, and
Mm.
Spirit led me right there. That happened
Wow.
the next day. So
Mm.
the person that you're tapping into does not have
Mhm.
to be a high vibrational being. It can
You're
be
tapping into their capabilities that they
exactly.
came here to exhibit, even if those capabilities come through a channel that may be questionable in other ways. They came through for a purpose, and regardless of their purpose, if they brought this capability, we can tap into it. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. And now I want to extrapolate that, Reverend Lisa Ray, because I was thinking about this. And when I was thinking about this the other day, I
Mhm.
thought to myself, if there is a pervasive energy on the earth plane at a specific time, why can we not tap into that and yield the benefits of that energy? Like in
Yeah.
the holidays.
Mhm.
And I was specifically thinking about, and I think I might have had this conversation with you, if not, I had it with myself in my head. I was thinking about my beloved cousin Gail. My
Mhm.
beloved cousin Gail, because you know your cousins are your best friends.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're your only friends because their parents make them
Right?
play with you because their parents are brothers and sisters.
Yes.
So my beloved cousin Gail, she had crippling arthritis and she would have some very difficult days. But I remember one year when we were children, around the Christmas time, she just flowered. And it was just so beautiful to see my beloved cousin flowering so much. And intuitively, I knew that it was the energy of the holidays that
Okay.
was lifting her up and almost turning her into a different person, because usually she was sullen and sad because she was always in so much pain due to her crippling arthritis. But on those Christmas days, she was beatific, she was angelic, she was peaceful. It was almost like all of that pain had faded for a few days. And
Yes.
that made me think, well, when we are in an energy of resurrection, of rising, of leaving energy behind us, when we are in these energies, how can we tap into that as well? What do you think?
Oh, I definitely think so. Especially as today is Palm Sunday, which is
Yes.
actually my most favorite holiday of the year
Yes.
because
Yes.
it heralded Jesus's entering into Jerusalem. But the key
Yes.
thing was that this kind of reception that he received was generally only for generals who won a war or something
Yes.
of that stature. But
Mm-hmm.
he came in as a man of peace. He came
Yes.
humbly in on a donkey. And
Mm.
him doing that, for me, that was the highlight of my experience because that was him feeling the love coming from everyone to him.
Yes.
Not knowing what his experience was going to be for that next week until that following Sunday.
Mm.
However, in that moment, it was a very high point in his life. Just
So, yes.
Mhm,
So, what we can learn from that, I'm wondering, is
mhm.
us entering into our own Jerusalem, our own mastery, our own self proclamation, acclamation, love, and acceptance, which opens us to prosperity. How
Yes.
can we ride into our Jerusalem of peace and light and love and grace and ease and abundance in such a way to be in that same energy and to accept and create that? Tell me
Yeah.
what you think about that, Reverend Lisa Ray.
What comes to me is that the universe is already supporting us with that.
Mm-hmm.
The universe has a place and a space for us to do that is already waiting for us to do it.
Okay.
these capabilities that I've mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
um, they are already baked into everything that we are.
Yes.
All we
Okay.
need to know is what is the recipe to get there.
Hmm. So tell
And
us about the recipe, Reverend Lisa Rae.
okay, it's a very, very simple recipe.
Okay.
The process is first to determine what is it that you want to know
Mm.
and who has the ability. And this person or this thing that you want to know how to attain for yourself
Mm-hmm.
does not have to be alive from
Mm-hmm.
what we call alive. They can
Yeah.
be operating on the other side of the veil.
Yes. As
Okay.
long as they have anchored that energy on the earth plane while they are here. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It has to be something that you are aware of.
Yes. Okay.
You have to have an awareness that Johnny down the street was able to play paddleball better than anybody else, and I want to play paddleball like Johnny did. Okay.
Mm.
So
Okay.
you have to have an awareness
Mm-hmm.
that it's like what Johnny did, which is
Mm-hmm.
what you were asking for.
Okay.
And your ask comes with you going
Mm-hmm.
into your higher self, going into meditation
Mm-hmm.
and connecting with your higher self,
Mm.
and then asking for what it is that you desire.
Mm.
And you can say, I want to be able to do paddleball like Johnny did. That it's that simple. The wording doesn't have to be very specific.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to energetically know what it is that you'd like to have.
Okay.
And the universe will respond to you in whatever way is best for you.
Mm.
Because maybe Johnny learned how to do that paddleball by going to a gym every day for 10 years, and you don't have the time to do that. But
Mm-hmm.
maybe you can watch a video online and
Uh-huh.
or do Peloton, you know,
Uh-huh. Yes.
with the
Yes.
paddleball, right?
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
learn how to do that. So spirit is
Mm-hmm.
going to bring you the best possible way for you to attain what it is that you desire. And it's
Okay.
very easy. It's very easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do one before we go to the break and take questions.
Okay.
And let's work with the holiday energy. And Palm Sunday is one of my favorite holidays too.
Mhm.
So let's actually do two.
Okay.
Let's actually do I want to ride into my own Jerusalem by having my inner triumph over my fears, doubts, shames, and past miseducation. Having triumphed over all of those things, I want to ride into my own Jerusalem of joy and peace and happiness and fulfillment and fullness. So, give us an example of how we would use it there, Reverend Lisa Rae.
Okay. So you take a breath, take a nice deep in breath. Let's see light above and in front of us. Bring the light into your third eye. Let the light travel in as you're taking the breath in. So, as you're breathing in through your nose, you're actually feeling the breath come in through your third eye. And as you're breathing out anything that uh, takes your mind away from what you're doing right now, so that you have focused, and this energy is focused and it's supportive and loving for you to do whatever it is that you choose to do. So we're going to do this 3 times. Breathe in, feeling that light coming into your third eye, letting it fill your body and your being, and go out through your mouth. We're going to do this again. We're going to breathe in, feeling that light come in, flowing down, breathing out all concerns, all thoughts of what's going on. Just relaxing. Breathe in one more time. Feeling that light coming in and breathing out. Now you find yourself walking up a hill, gently, easily walking up a hill. And at the top of a hill, you see a lake. And it's actually moonlight in this moment. And you see the moon, the light of the moon, beaming onto the lake. And you see a rowboat there at the edge of the lake. And something tells you to get into the rowboat and that it's perfectly safe and you're secure as you step in. And the rowboat gently enters the lake and starts moving across the water. And you're feeling comfortable and happy and joyful at this experience. And on the other side of the shore, you see a small light, and the boat is moving closer and closer to the light. And as it's moving closer, the light is getting larger. And at a certain point, you feel a wave of love come over your being from that light. And it just makes you even more calm and relaxed. And the boat continues to the light. And you begin to see that the light is the form of a being. And you get all the way to the other shore. And you step out of the boat safely and securely onto land. And the light opens its arms to you. And you feel drawn into this light being. And the light being wraps its arms around you. And you feel this intense, beautiful love emanating from this light being. And you merge into it. And you realize that this light being is you. And you feel this wonderful transformation come over you. You feel this deep, intense, loving connection. For this is your higher self. This is that part of you which is always connected to your source, your creator. This, your higher self, has all the answers of the universe for you. You need do nothing but ask. And at this point, you say, Spirit, as you're talking to Spirit, I would really like to have the ability to connect with the prosperity of this holy day, the prosperity of coming into my true self, the prosperity of feeling the love and the support of those who are waiting for me, of those who I have been seeking. And now that I know that they have been seeking me, for the energy of this Palm Sunday is an energy of reverence. It is an energy of honor. It is an energy of bestowing gratitude for what you are. And more than what you are, which is the light being, a child of God, it's who you are. And it's simply you. For just as you are perfect, complete. So you ask Spirit to allow the prosperity of being heralded, being awarded, and rewarded and recognized for all that you bring. And sit with that for a moment. Sit in that feeling of grace. Just enjoy. And you can also ask Spirit, what am I to do to keep this energy for myself and prospering me at all times? And allow yourself to receive a message. Just relax. And once you receive the message, give thanks. Thank you, Spirit. And even if you had not received a message at this time, Spirit knows of your request. And the answer may come an hour after the meditation. It may come a day after this meditation. Just know that it will come. And give thanks to your higher self. And you step back into the boat and gently glide to the other side of the lake, knowing that you can come back here at any time and get whatever answers that you need directly from Spirit, whatever guidance. You step out of the boat and become present to where you are in your seat or wherever you are at this time and return. And you can wiggle your fingers and your toes and open your eyes. Namaste.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend Lisa Rae Brooks, for that wonderful experience. Thank you so much. So I know our guests have plenty of questions on how they can use this for their own situations or questions on the I Am We method of creating and allowing more prosperity. So I'm going to go to break now, and I'm going to give our guests a chance to type in their questions so that we can address them here on the New Thought Media Network.
Thank you.
Watch me change when you change the way you look at things. The things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
And we're back here on the New Thought Media Network with the Miracle of Prosperity. And we just had a wonderful experience of working with the I am we technique that allows prosperity. And we used it to tap into the holiday, the energy of this specific holiday, based on what we observed and what we can learn from this holiday. And this technique that Reverend Lisa Rae Brooks taught us is generally used to tap into the expertise of a person. So one of our questions from Carlisa was, what if we don't know a person who has the skills, knowledge, or ability that we desire to tap into? What can we do then?
Well, what came to mind as soon as you said that is that you can do a search. You can do a computer search for anyone. It doesn't have to be someone you know. It can be any person. Just all you have to know is a name. That's it. You don't have to have known the person. Just know a name.
Yeah.
That's what I ask.
Just know a name and spirit will do the rest, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful question, Carlisa, and thank you for that wonderful response, Reverend Lisa Rae. Now, one of the other things that was interesting about your approach was how you recommended humility and how that was reflected in the part of the Palm Sunday story where Jesus rode in on the back of a mule, of a donkey, which is generally seen to be a sign of humility. And Cynthia Wee Parker brought that out, that we must ask from a place of humility. Would you like to share some more on that, Reverend Lisa Rae?
We do not have to ask from a place of humility. Actually, we ask knowing that it's already done, knowing that it's already ours. We ask for it. And from that place, you just calmly relax, throw up your hands and say, okay. Just
Yeah.
Yes.
I love the way you phrased it. You did what Reverend Aurelia Carl-Overson often does, and you said it somewhat matter-of-factly, as if it were already done. Wouldn't it be nice if? It would be interesting if. I think I'd like to experience this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's actually how it started for me the first time. I was out walking, and I said, it'd be nice if I can do this like so-and-so. Went into meditation, and the next day there it was. So I've done this with many people. Some people wanted to understand how a grandparent was able to start a plumbing. One lady wanted to know how her grandparent started a plumbing business, and what he had to do in order to get that business going. And she did it. And as I worked with her, I asked her to visualize him because she actually knew what he looked like.
Okay.
And she did. And she said he came. He came and showed her what to do. So it can show up for you in any way that you are ready to accept how that prosperity will work for you. So it's not specific. It's not the same for everyone. Everyone, in fact, everyone will have a different experience using this. But the bottom line is you will have the experience that you desire. It will.
Yeah. Now, Deb Thomas had a question. She said, is this similar to entanglement, the concept or idea of entanglement?
As the concept of entanglement is not one that I am well versed in. I'm going to ask you, Reverend Jim, are you familiar with that concept?
My understanding of that concept is that we are all one. We are all intertwined energetically. And so if that understanding of entanglement is correct, then it sounds like this is somewhat similar, but this is a very, deliberate use of
Yeah.
the entanglement that we all share, a very
Yes.
deliberate and specific use of the entanglement that we all share, an application of it.
And the reason why I asked for a more in-depth definition of the term entanglement is
Hmm.
because sometimes that term kind of has a negative
Negative
connotation.
connotation, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly. And with this process, as I found out, the spirit is not going to send you down the garden path.
Mm,
Spirit is going to give this to you in the most direct way that is most supportive for you for whatever it is that you desire to do. Because, like I
mhm,
said, I asked to, the first time I did it, I asked to be able to do real estate like Trump,
mm.
not knowing
Yes.
what he
Uh,
was doing and not
uh-huh.
knowing that he didn't know what he was doing.
Right, right.
So, so Spirit brought it to me in a
Mhm.
different way from a different
Yes.
source, a
Yes.
more reliable source that
Mm,
was safe for me and
mhm,
protected for me and wouldn't
mm.
put me in a position where I'd be indicted either.
Yes, yes, yes. So in
So,
other words, like the old scripture says, God knew you before you were in the room. Spirit knew the essence of what you wanted based on your point of reference and what you asked for.
yes, exactly. And the
Mm,
key is being in that higher vibrational state, being
yes.
in your higher self. And as
So in
soon
a
as you could,
sense,
mhm.
go ahead.
No,
So in a
it's,
sense, it's like taking a shamanic journey, huh?
yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes. You
Okay.
can do that. Yes. Going to the lower realms, the middle earth,
Mhm,
or upper realms,
mhm,
whichever way allows you to connect
mhm,
with
mhm.
that energy that is always connected to source.
Yes.
And
Okay.
once you start doing that, it
Hmm.
more it becomes easier and more common for you to be able to get to that higher vibration.
Okay. Okay.
So um
And and we
and
nurture. Go ahead.
it's like flexing a muscle. You know,
Yes.
the more you
Yes.
work it, the easier it is to work it.
Mhm.
And
And
the
so each time we go into our personal spiritual practice, our prayer, our meditation, our visualization, working with our visions, each time we do that, we flex that muscle and it gets easier. Would that be accurate?
absolutely, absolutely,
Okay.
that's what's happening here.
Okay.
That's
Beautiful. So let's do some other things that we can learn around this holiday period.
okay.
Now, I want to go back a little bit because one of the reasons that Jesus was so triumphant uh, in his re entry into Jerusalem was because he had just performed a miracle. He raised Lazarus from the dead. Now, I'm not going to go read the Bible for you. I'm going to send you to music. I'm going to send you to Aretha Franklin's Amazing Grace album, which was one of the top selling gospel albums of all time, stayed on the Billboard Top 100 charts for years and years and years. And there's a cut on that album, I think it's track 8, called Oh Mary, Don't You Weep.
Oh yes, yes.
And she taught and then that song she taught us the story of Lazarus.
Mhm,
Jesus was away.
mhm,
Jesus was out praying and meditating, and their dear and his dear friends Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, their brother Lazarus, died,
yeah,
and they sent for Jesus, but Jesus was like, "Oh, I'm doing some prayer stuff. I'm in an ashram. I'm
mhm,
chilling. I'll be there eventually." And so Jesus got there, and so they said to him, and I'm just going to quote what she says in the song instead of quoting the Bible. She says, "If you had been there, our brother Lazarus wouldn't have died." And he,
mhm,
of course, said, "Oh, Mary, don't you weep." He
mhm.
said, and then he said to everybody who were gathered around, "For the benefit of you who don't believe, I'm going to call his name 3 times." And so then Aretha sang it, Lazarus, Lazarus, Lazarus. And if you don't buy the album, see the movie.
Mhm.
See the movie Amazing Grace. And the third time she called his name, the third time Jesus called Lazarus' name, according to Aretha Franklin, Lazarus got up and started walking
Mhm.
like a natural man.
Yeah. Yes.
Like a natural man. So the point of that is Jesus, had performed a miracle, had experienced a miracle, had done something that defied what we believed to be the laws of nature based on our human eyes and our human experiences. And that's what got him to the point of notoriety where he was able to step into such a claim. So the point of that is, how can we be open to miracles that transcend what our minds can conceive? And how would we use this so that we could be open to a vision for our lives that transcends what our human minds and experiences can perceive?
If someone just answered that question.
Oh, really? Okay.
Allow spirit to take the reins, you know.
Oh, okay.
And that's really it. It's
Uh-huh.
asking spirit, you know, God be with me, or Holy Spirit
Mm,
be with me, or lead
mhm,
me, guide me, be a lamp unto my feet. Uh,
mhm,
let thy path be clear to me.
mm,
So there are
mhm.
so many ways that you can
Yes.
call spirit in. And
Mhm,
anytime you do that, you have just enabled yourself to do something easier that you thought was
mhm.
difficult. Do it
Yes.
with grace, meaning
Mm,
that you know you're not upset, you're not um, angry, you don't have
you're not
feelings of
anxious. It's
frustration.
just
Yeah,
you're in the
all of it.
flow. You're in the
Exactly.
flow.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're
Okay.
in the flow.
Okay.
And just
Okay. That.
allowing yourself to just let spirit take the reins.
Mhm,
I find that praying and placing my concerns upon the altar, upon God's
mhm.
altar, really
Yes.
lifts that from me,
Okay.
and it makes me free to
Mm,
just trust. It puts me
mhm,
in a place of trust.
mhm,
And that place of trust makes me happy.
mm.
So
Okay.
that feeling of happiness, even if it's just a moment long, it doesn't matter. Even if
Mhm,
I just smile for just
mhm,
a second,
mhm.
that's all it takes. Because that smile, that is a holy instant that lasts forever, and it goes through all time, space, and dimension.
Mm,
And spirit feels that, spirit wants that, spirit, that is spirit's desire to give you more of that.
mm.
It
Okay.
simplifies it. Yeah.
Okay. That helps me understand. So, so we can step into the miracle space just like Jesus did.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Now,
Yes.
one of the questions is, why do we need a human touchstone instead of going directly to the abstract principle or idea? And I have some ideas on that, but maybe you do
Please
too.
go right ahead, because I
Okay.
do too. But I'd love to hear yours as well. Mm.
Okay. Um, some people are object-oriented learners, and some people are subject-oriented learners. And as humans, we have become quite accustomed to anthropomorphizing spiritual ideas. So the way we are wired is we attract, learn, experience better from a human vessel who exemplifies the characteristics than going for the abstract characteristics themselves. It's called, an aspect of subject-oriented learning, where we
Yes.
learn best
Mhm.
from a subject or an example.
Mhm.
And that's
And
my thought on it.
right. And the other thing that came to mind as you were speaking is that
Mhm.
if you can see it, you can be it.
Yes, okay.
Right.
Tell us
And
more.
right,
Mhm.
exactly. And if you're seeking something that is a thought in your mind,
Mhm.
and you may not know where to go to get it,
Mhm.
but that thought is going to materialize as a vision within you. And I'm
Mhm.
saying that it materializes because it's something that is propelling you,
Mhm.
giving you that ease and
Mhm.
that energy, that
Mhm.
supportive, loving push
Mhm.
that will allow you to get to where you need to go.
Mhm.
So And it also, the other thought that came to me is that the realm of things that you desire is unlimited. There is no
Yes.
limit to what it is that you can ask for.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you have something in
Mm-hmm.
mind as to what it is that you desire,
Mm-hmm.
um, if you have seen something that looks like it, that you
Mm-hmm.
might want this same thing, or
Mm-hmm.
someone who embodies
Yes.
this energy of light,
Mm-hmm.
and you may not want to take on their personality, but you want to feel like that. Wouldn't it be
Yes.
nice to feel like that?
Wouldn't it be nice to feel like that? And if I can see someone who feels like that, I have an object or a subject upon which to focus my attention. And
Mhm.
that, okay, that helps me to understand. That helps me
Exactly.
to understand.
Exactly.
Beautiful, beautiful. So in the prior example of, Jesus doing miracles and us opening our minds to more, would we do a similar technique where we'd go across the lake, merge with our higher selves and say, I wonder what it would feel like
Yeah,
to not have limits placed on what I could see myself being
absolutely.
or what
There
I
is
could experience?
right. There's no limit to the questions that you can ask your higher self. And your
Yeah.
higher self is always going to bring it back in a way that is supportive, helpful, safe, and prosperous for you.
Okay.
Whatever is for your highest good is what your
Mhm.
higher self is going to lead you to.
Because
Okay.
your higher self is in communication and oneness with God, and God can see around the corners that we can't. So, whatever it is, however we're led, it's for our highest good.
Absolutely.
Like A Course in Miracles, one of the lessons is, I don't even know what's in my best interest. And the reason
Mhm.
we don't know what's in our best interest is because we don't know what's around the corner. But
Yeah.
Spirit does.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And just knowing that spirit does, it's like, okay, know,
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't know how it's going to show up, but I know that it is.
I don't need to know how. Spirit
Right.
knows. And I trust
Exactly.
Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to go to break in a moment, and we're going to come back with some final thoughts and perhaps some final questions here on the New Thought Media Network.
Thank you.
Choice, your creative superpower. We have the power to manifest as we dedicate attention to our thoughts, but often miss opportunity to achieve the greatest good. Your superpower is waiting to be unleashed to unlock a fuller, more rewarding world for all. Join us every Thursday at noon Mountain Time for Choice, your creative superpower with Zoe DeMuro. And now,
And we're back here on the Miracle of Prosperity with my special guest, Reverend Lisa Rae Brooks. And She has been demonstrating for us the I am we method, which can be a wonderful tool to use to allow more prosperity. You want to summarize for our guests, if some have joined us later in the show, this process one more time, Reverend Lisa Rae?
Yes. This very simple process of being able to take advantage of one of the capabilities that oneness gives you automatically is to step into your higher self, ask for whatever it is that you would like to have or experience or do, and then just allow yourself to receive the blessings. Be prepared because you will be blessed.
Get the
So
guidance and the support uh, to go in the direction of your desires and dreams. Is that accurate?
that is accurate.
Okay. Okay.
You're spot
Beautiful.
on.
Oh, thank you. Well, what a wonderful technique. And I must say one more time, I was just so wonderfully thrilled and blown away when you taught it in a class of yours that I took. I was so thrilled by that. And I wanted to share it with everybody. So it's one of the tools for creating more prosperity. So tell us, Reverend Lisa Rae, what are you working on these days? What are you up to these days?
What I'm working on are a couple of different things. I'm working on creating a class in a university
Mhm.
associated with this I am we experience. I
Okay.
am also in the process of doing the audiobook for my first book, which is My Infinite Self Memoirs of an Eternal Being,
Mhm.
which is about my journey of healing by understanding my past lives and understanding that everything that impacted me that I did not understand did not come in this lifetime, that it
Mm.
may have come from another one, which is actually happening right now. This is all part of what's in my book. And
Mm.
also, understanding that me in those other incarnations of myself actually may also come back as a spirit guide as well.
Mhm.
So there's all kinds of help for us. And
Mm.
the way that we understand that there is help for us to do the things that we desire to do is to open our consciousness,
Mhm.
to
Okay.
open our awareness. So reading and coming to shows just like this, Reverend Jim, that you bring
Mhm.
forward just really gives people the opportunity to say that it's a possibility. And as
Yes.
soon as you allow that it is a possibility that this can work for you, and you
Mhm.
say, well, for grins and giggles, I'ma just try it. Just give it a
Mhm.
try and see
Yes.
what happens. You
Yes.
know, in this experience of what I'm teaching you about I am we, as you are operating in your higher self, there is
Mhm.
nothing there that you can do that will hurt you.
Mm.
Everything that you do is for your highest good. It's for your good. So try this practice out. Give yourself a little thrill when you see it work for you in the wonderful way that it will. So,
Oh, beautiful. Well, I want to thank you, Reverend Lisa Rae, for being with us tonight. I want to thank you for your wisdom, your warmth, your wealth of knowledge and experience, that beautiful meditation that took us to another place. And mostly, I want to thank you for being you and being such a wonderful, wonderful teacher.
thank
So
you.
thank you. Thank you
Thank you,
so
Reverend
much.
Jim.
That's such a pleasure, such an honor to have you here on the Miracle of Prosperity. So I'm going to wrap up tonight by thanking our guest one more time, thanking all of you who participated, all our viewers. Share this video with others who you know will benefit from it, and see us every Sunday night at 8 p.m. here on the New Thought Media Network.